Welcome, everyone, to this beautiful analysis of a story. Today, we're stepping away from the daily grind to just completely immerse ourselves in a classic, deeply resonant tale. It's called The Small Star's Inner Glow. Fables, exactly like this one, they have this absolutely incredible power. They kind of bypass our analytical minds and speak directly to our core human experiences. So, let's go on a warm, reflective journey together. Let's explore what a tiny, seemingly insignificant light in a vast sky can actually teach us about ourselves. Have you ever felt like you just don't shine as brightly as those around you? I mean, really think about it. It's a heavy question, right? We live in a world where it is so incredibly easy to just look left, look right, and see these blindingly bright successes, amazing talents, or huge personalities of other people. And suddenly, you feel entirely overshadowed. Think about a specific time in your own life when you felt like you were just kind of fading into the background, while literally everyone else took center stage. Well, that exact feeling of self-doubt, that quiet, lingering insecurity, that is the beating heart of the story we're diving into today. Section 1, A Boy and the Sky. Okay, let's dive into this. And meet a young boy named Arav. He lives in a quiet little village, way out there, far from the blinding lights of the big city. Now, Arav absolutely loved the night sky. Every single night, without fail, he'd go up to his roof to just count the stars. For him, this wasn't some chore, it was a real passion. This super peaceful routine tells us something important. He's an observer. He's someone who pays close attention to the little details in this giant universe. And it's exactly this habit of looking closely, night after night, that perfectly sets the stage for a really profound discovery about self-worth. Section 2. The sad little star. Let's gently transition to the exact moment his routine is interrupted by something unusual. Up there in the cosmos, there's this really clear contrast. On one side, we have the bright stars. They're massive, they're confident, and they're universally admired by everyone looking up. But then on the other side, we have a dim star. It's small, shining far less, and feeling completely overlooked by the world. Arav, being the careful observer he is, spots this tiny star. He notices it's shining much, much less than the others. So, sensing its mood, he smiles and asks a very simple, deeply empathetic question. He says, "Why are you so sad, little star?" And the little star replies, "I can't shine as brightly as the rest, so nobody likes me." Just let that sink in for a second. It's a heartbreaking confession, isn't it? The little star has completely internalized this idea that its value is directly tied to its brightness compared to everyone else. Just because it isn't the loudest, the biggest, or the brightest, it has convinced itself that it is entirely unlikable and, well, fundamentally useless. It's this painful, crushing feeling of inadequacy that honestly is all too human. Section 3. A shift in perspective. Let's see how a gentle change in how we look at things can change absolutely everything. So how do we break out of that awful cycle of self-doubt? How does someone actually go from feeling useless to realizing their true worth? Arav responds with this deeply uplifting realization. He says, "But you are different, and being different is the most special thing." Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how he slips the script entirely. He takes the exact trait that the star viewed as a massive flaw, its dimness, its difference, and he reframes it as literally the most special trait you can possibly possess. He's teaching the star that variation isn't a failure at all, it's a feature. But here's the thing. Words, no matter how profound they are, usually need time to really take root. Arav didn't just drop a quick piece of wisdom and bounce. No, he returned every single night, he talked to the star, and day by day, he gave it courage. This just goes to show the absolute power of consistent encouragement. The little star slowly began to look happier. It felt more confident. And not because it suddenly magically became brighter, but simply because it finally felt seen and valued for exactly what it was. Section 4. The Dark Storm. Now this is where things get really intense. Let's head into the climax of the story where everything gets put to the test. Let's move to and see how this builds. You see, a newfound confidence is fragile until it's actually tested. And oh boy, tested it will be. Look at the timeline. At first, it's a completely clear sky, business as usual. But then, sudden strong winds sweep through the village, out of absolutely nowhere. This rapidly brings in these thick, dark clouds, entirely covering the big, bright stars. The very stars that everyone usually admired, completely obscured by the storm. gone. But look what happens next. Because of its unique position, or maybe just the subtle nature of its light, the small, dim star remains visible. In the darkest, most chaotic moment, the brightest lights completely vanished, but that faint little light, it endured. Section 5. The unique strength. Let's focus on the immediate aftermath of that storm and the powerful reaction from the ground below. Down below, the villagers are trying to navigate a very different, much darker night than they're used to. Suddenly, they point up at the sky with genuine enthusiasm and this amazing realization. They shout, "Look, that same small star is showing us the way." I mean, wow. The bright stars, for all their glory, totally failed when the conditions changed. But the little star's faint, enduring light suddenly became a crucial guiding force. It wasn't just visible anymore. It was actively providing direction. It became the single most special star in the sky that night, proving its worth to everyone down below, but far more importantly, proving its worth to itself. So the crucial point is, this completely redefines the whole concept of being small. Being small is not a weakness. It is a distinct identity. The story totally shifts the little star's dimness from a vulnerability, a reason to be sad and completely overlooked, into a unique identity that allows it to serve a purpose literally no one else could. It's a brilliant pivot, right? It totally changes how we can view our own perceived limitations. And Arav is right there looking up at his friend to provide that final triumphant validation. He looks at the star and says, "See, you are different from everyone, and this is your strength." Upon hearing this, and actually seeing the truth of it in action, the star shone brighter and happier than it ever had before. Now, not brighter in literal wattage, of course, but brighter in spirit, finally fully embracing its own unique identity. Section 6. The ultimate moral. Let's bring this all together and connect this beautiful conclusion right back to our own lives. So what does this all mean for our own internal struggles? Well, the takeaways are beautifully simple. First, trust yourself. The little star had to endure the dark storm by simply continuing to be itself. Second, remember that everyone has something special. And this brilliantly illustrates that your special something might not look like the traditional brightness that society so easily praises. It might be quiet, it might be faint, but it is entirely yours. You don't need to outshine everyone else. You just need to trust in the unique value that you bring to the table. The small star found its unique purpose in the dark. So, what is yours? Take that question with you today. Stop comparing your light to the stars around you and start trusting in your own distinct glow.